Welcome back to Living Local. From depression to anxiety, therapy can help with a wide range of issues, but many people are afraid to talk to a therapist. So joining us today to discuss some of the myths and stigmas surrounding therapy is Alexandra Skinner-Walsh, the owner and licensed mental health counselor with the M.A.D Therapy. So great to have you back, Alexandra. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So what is it that keeps people from going to therapy? Why is it so, it seems like it's so frowned upon sometimes?
Yeah, I don't think it's one set thing. We have, a lot of stigma we're still trying to combat as a society around mental health and whether it's okay or not to have or focus on mental health.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will underestimate their problems, will think that therapy is only for really big problems, or that if we go, will people think I'm crazy, or will people think I'm bad, or will it, I can just talk to my friends instead, they'll solve my problems for me. I think there's quite a large range of why people don't seek out therapy, from fear, uncertainty, to just minimizing a lot of what they're experiencing.
A lot of different myths then surrounding that. Yeah, and like you said, I think it is, a lot of people think it has to be a really big problem, or that it's a long term. I mean, it can be, something as far as like a few weeks maybe.
Absolutely.
It doesn't even have to go on for a whole year, right?
No.
Or years for that matter.
Therapy is individualized per person. For some people, therapy looks like a month, a few months. For other people, it looks like year or years.
Yeah.
It just depends on what's going on. It can also look like a month here, and then we figure out that problem, and then onward we go, no therapy, but then we find ourselves in another challenging situation, and we're back in therapy a year later, And it's this on and off kind of thing.
Yeah.
Everybody looks different, but that's also why being able to talk about therapy with people in it, being able to utilize resources online or books to get a feel for what therapy actually is like can be really helpful in making us feel more comfortable even exploring the idea of therapy. Yeah.
And so how can we minimize resistance to therapy?
I think talking about it is a huge one, just like we're doing here today, talking about it, talking about it with our loved ones, talking about it with our peers, looking online for therapists near you and what they're like to hopefully eliminate some of that hurdle. Also being able to get a better idea of what to expect from therapy. What's that really going to be like, and how do people really think about it? I think if we can think about mental health like we do physical health, right? If you have a body, you have physical health, and it's something that we should be mindful of when things are going really great and when things are really hard. The same for your brain. If you have a brain, you have mental health. And if we can just be intentional with how we're caring for our brain, that can make a world of a difference.
Yeah, and I like how you you talk about how our physical health, if we have a cold or something that lasts longer than a week or two, we're at the doctor.
Absolutely.
But then when we have an issue that we're dealing with for more than a week or two, we just think we'll get over it, or we'll just move on.
Just power through. And same thing with that, right? The cold might last a few weeks, therapy might last a few weeks, or we might have a really chronic physical health that's gonna mean we're in and out of the doctor's office for the rest of our lives. Same thing with mental health. There's a wide range and a wide spectrum.
Definitely, definitely. So I love those ways to minimize the resistance to therapy. So if someone is going through, a tough time, how can we be supportive?
Knowing where not only that loved one can turn to, but also you can turn to is really helpful. So a lot of times people don't realize that those crisis resources out there like 988 that you can call or text if you're having challenges with your mental health are for not only those having challenges with their mental health, but also loved ones are welcome to call and say, hey, my loved one's struggling, what should I do? What can I say? Utilizing those national resources. There's also really great local resources around us too that have support groups and networks of people that are there to help answer those questions too. Again, social media can be really helpful in the sense of, what do I say when a loved one comes and says they're struggling? Social media has quite a repertoire of questions to ask and things to say. But really, at the end of the day, the most impactful thing we can do sometimes is just simply be there to listen and to help that person connect with somebody else. So even if it's, let's sit down at a computer together and look at these resources together. Let's figure it out together. Let's find a therapist near you together. I'm here for you can make a world of a difference.
I love that. I love that. Some great tips, some great suggestions as always. Alexandra, thanks so much for coming in to talk to us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
All right, for more information, you can find the M.A.D Therapy on Facebook and Instagram. We'll also have all those details posted on ourquadcities.com.